Now, the emotional reaction is you were talking crazy shit about America, and then when you get clipped over there in Romania, now you're coming back to daddy. So I need you to acknowledge who the GOAT is. I don't need you talking about the West this and America's dad and the West is falling. Well, why are you coming back to the fall? Like when it got rough and they were locking you and your brother up, probably wrongfully, I don't know, he's not convicted. Like if there was enough to convict, they would have convicted, right? But you came running back. So I need you to at least acknowledge why you came running back.
So he doesn't understand the world very well at all. I went back to America because I got released from imprisonment in Romania, and I'm American. I talked shit about America because America put me in jail, sir. America under the Dems is different than America under Trump. I returned to America when it was my home. It's not my home under the Democrats. It may be his home under the Democrats because we all know what he's doing. Because he's a closeted homosexual.
So it turns out Schulz triggered Tate in a pretty major way, so much so that Tate resorted to using 5th grade insults in his response. The whole thing started with an appearance Schulz made on Chris Williamson's podcast where they got into a conversation about Tate returning to the US.
I listened to the first half of Andrew Tate on Patrick Bet-David's podcast.
Yeah, well, how was that? How do you feel about Tate coming back?
Interesting one, dude. I mean, he's currently being subpoenaed, investigated, something by the state of Florida.
Yeah.
They've just opened up some warrant type thing for him.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a brave call from the US to do that at like this time. To be like, yeah, come on over when we're talking about worries about trafficking and migrant. The UK's got lots of concerns about grooming gangs. You can say what you want about the validity of the case around Tate.
Yeah.
Optics are optics.
So yeah, you're speaking on something that I really like, which is there are facts and then there is emotional reactivity. Optics is what you're talking about. And people are emotional. They just react emotionally to whatever they see. And it's important to meet them there. Do you know what I mean? Like there's going to be an idea of who you are from people who don't really know you. Casuals on the internet that might see a single clip. And that idea that they have, maybe it's wrong, but just going, oh, you're wrong and writing it off isn't how you're going to address a bigger problem.
This is where Ben Shapiro gets it 100% backward. He says facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
This one in particular.
Yeah. It's
right.
like,
feelings do not give a single fuck about the facts.
So I know this is a bit off topic, but this whole idea that Shapiro is the facts over feelings guy is kind of bullshit. He's usually the first one to cry over things nobody really cares about. A perfect example, just a couple of days ago we covered how Shapiro dedicated an entire segment on his show simply because Bill Burr criticized billionaires. That set Shapiro off to the point where instead of admitting there's a problem with the healthcare system and how it's run, he started defending it. He even claimed that billionaires profiting off of sick people are not to blame, which led to most of the comments calling him out for how hypocritical he is. So this whole idea that Shapiro actually believes in facts over feelings, it's far from reality. He's the biggest crybaby on issues people don't even care about, like defending billionaires. Who's really out here defending billionaires when most of us know they are the real problem? Well, you can always count on Shapiro to get in his feelings and make an entire segment defending them.
Like an autistic robot. Like he doesn't understand. He caught a great grift off like the Christians. And now that he no longer has societal utility, he's like really struggling. Like societal utility is oftentimes what can make people like really powerful. And he rose to fame at a time where like conservatives felt like really scrutinized just for their beliefs. And a lot of them just didn't have the arguments to defend their positions. Right? They grew up in cities and states where it was normal to be a conservative. And then all of a sudden they're in these other places where like, can I even share this? Can I say I'm a conservative? It's like really radioactive to be conservative. And then all of a sudden he's like this like really obviously smart, Harvard educated arguer. He's like a really good arguer in developing ideas and bits and putting together these arguments. They're like foolproof.
I mean, that's not really the case. Shapiro only looks good when he's debating 18-year-olds. Whenever he goes up against people his age or anyone who actually knows what they're talking about, he almost always loses. The Jubilee video is a perfect example, and his debate with Alex O'Connor is another. The bottom line is, against inexperienced kids, Shapiro does fine. Against serious opponents, he usually falls apart.
And he handed him off to those people. But now being conservative is more popular
super mainstream
than being Democratic.
This was the point I was saying earlier on about, you can speak truth to power and be that sort of, it was almost like rock starry, like kind of like rebellious, anarchistic type thing. It's just the kind of position that most people hold now around a lot of we probably should be careful about what we're doing to teenagers. Hormones. We should probably be a little bit concerned about.
So now that it's the norm, he no longer has the same societal utility.
That's interesting.
And then Israel-Palestine happens. And now the base doesn't agree with him. And now they're like, well, we don't need you for the arguments. It's like normal to be conservative now. It's like, if anything, Democrats need the arguments, right? So now they're like, and we don't agree with you on the Israel-Palestine thing? Man, the fuck out of here.
But yeah, I mean, when you think about
So he caught a good grift, but, the grifts only last for so long.
What'd you make of the Tate thing? Him coming back?
I mean, he's an American citizen. You have to protect American citizens. And just because he hasn't been convicted of anything, he hasn't been convicted of anything, he's an American citizen. We have to protect our citizens. And you're allowed to say whatever you want as an American. This is free speech. We believe in all those things. So, like, there's no question whether you have to let an American back. Of course you have to let an American back. Now, the emotional reaction is, you were talking crazy shit about America, and then when you get clipped over there in Romania, now you're coming back to daddy. So I need you to acknowledge who the GOAT is. I don't need you talking about the West this and America's that and the West is falling. Well, why are you coming back to the fall? Like, when it got rough and they were locking you and your brother up, probably wrongfully, I don't know, he's not convicted. Like, if there was enough to convict, they would have convicted, right? But you came running back. So I need you to at least acknowledge why you came running back.
I know Schulz will never admit this, but one of the biggest reasons Tate came back is that Trump is soft on crime, especially when it involves rich criminals who support him. And let's be real, with Trump's name in the Epstein files, Tate being accused of rape probably isn't a deal breaker in his eyes. If anything, is the kind of thing they'd have a drink over, swapping stories about the disgusting things they've both done. The only real issue Trump has is if you're an immigrant who looks a little bit too brown, is a little bit too poor, and maybe comes from an impoverished country. Then you're considered a criminal. And sure, Tate is mixed, but he's got money and he's a Trump supporter, so suddenly none of his crimes matter.
Definitely an amount of irony around saying,
because it's the best.
I love Romania. I love Romania. Why did you move to Romania when you first moved to Romania? I love Romania because it's corrupt. You can pay the police off. The laws basically don't exist, and you can get anything done you want. And then 5 years later, 3 seconds later, it being like, this country's so corrupt and the police don't really seem to care. It's like chickens roosting.
That's the thing. I think that's the thing right there. Like, obviously he's a phenomenal communicator, and he understands culture. He understands like trends that are popping up. I'm not talking about like a trend like wearing fucking clothing. I'm talking about like ideological and emotional trends, like what people
taps
are
into
feeling.
what people are feeling.
He can fucking tap in. There's no question. But there is a part of me that is like, you talk crazy shit about America, and now you're coming back because you got in trouble. I need to know, like, a lot of people gave Brittany Griner shit when she got arrested in Russia, right? They gave her a lot of shit for like kneeling for the anthem and then asking America to help her to get back. Where's the Brittany Griner treatment? Where's this Brittany Griner energy? Now, people are emotional, so it doesn't really matter. They're like, I can look past that because he's satisfying these other concerns that I have emotionally, and he's voicing it in the most eloquent way, and he really makes me feel seen and heard. So they'll look past this other shit. But to me, I'm looking at this Brittany Griner. Now, I want Brittany back. You know, should she have had the weed in her fucking thing? No, don't bring fucking a weed pen into Russia. You know that they might try to use this as for some political leverage in this situation that we're in. It's annoying. You shouldn't have fucking done it. And you put America in a position where we got to give you back the Nicolas Cage guy from the movie, right? We have to give you Nicolas Cage back to get Brittany Griner, right? But at the end of the day, she's an American, and if American gets clipped, we're going to ride for our boys, our girls.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this particular conversation between Schulz and Chris triggered Tate so much that he went on a rant trying to prove how stupid Schulz is, pretty much using the same expired talking points from 2021 about the Matrix and how the system is against him.
Andrew Schulz said, Andrew Tate was speaking
crazy shit about America, and then when you get clipped over there in Romania, now you're coming back to daddy.
USA. What do you say to that, and why did you go to the US?
Firstly, I didn't know anyone listened to what Andrew Schulz said. Secondly, America and England are who locked me up. So that's a silly thing to say. I didn't go running home to daddy. Daddy fucking locked me up in Romania, dummy. The Dems and the UK Foreign Office locked me up in a foreign country. Andrew's clearly an idiot. I mean, I don't actually have anything against him, but hearing that, I'm not personally offended. I'm just making it clear he's obviously stupid. He doesn't understand the world. The Western governments clearly manipulate and control most other democracies globally via NGOs, via foreign aid. We just saw US aid get dismantled. That was an absolute joke. It's the absolute wet dream of a Western government to find a problem child like me and use a foreign judicial system to punish us so they don't have to highlight how hypocritical and how corrupted their own judicial system is. That's why the Americans used the UK to get Assange. America loves to use foreign judicial systems. It's great. What better than sending a memo to the Romanians saying, deal with this guy? Now you haven't got to pretend you have law and order in your own country. If you do it in your own country, you've got to now lie and pretend and put up some garbage and blah, blah, blah. So he doesn't understand the world very well at all.
Sure, he's not wrong about some of the things he points out, but claiming that's why he got arrested, that's straight out of a bad fiction novel. Tate didn't get arrested because the US government was hunting him or because the world elite got offended. He got arrested because he's a complete moron who bragged on camera about his crimes. He even made a website showing other guys how to do the same disgusting things. And for anyone who didn't realize, the justice system did exactly what it's supposed to do. A bunch of girls reported him for SA, the police investigated, probably saw his online admissions, and boom, probable cause and an arrest. That's literally how the law works, and Tate got caught exactly how any idiot in his position would. So this whole fantasy that the entire world and every government was out to get him, that's not conspiracy, it's just pathetic delusion.
I went back to America because I got released from imprisonment in Romania, and I'm American. I talked shit about America because America put me in jail, sir. America under the Dems is different than America under Trump. I returned to America when it was my home. It's not my home under the Democrats. It may be his home under the Democrats because we all know what he's doing. Because he's a closeted homosexual. Fine. But it ain't my home under the Dems. So America changes every 4 years, whether it's your home or not, unfortunately. So for him to sit and say Andrew talked shit about America under the Dems when they locked him in jail in a foreign dungeon with a corrupt NGO-sponsored garbage matrix attack, and then once Trump won and democracy was restored and he returned home to the nation which his father served for, why did he do that? And he's a fucking idiot. My dad served in the military. I was raised in America. I hold an American passport. I think any American with a brain sees America different under Trump than we did under the Democrats. So why is he, the fact he even said that is just mind-bending to me. I don't know, he's clearly stupid. I guess he's just a stupid person. He's dumb. That's the only answer I can come to, is that he's dumb. I talked shit about America under the Dems. They locked me up. Trump won. I got released, coincidence. And I go home to America. Duh. He's a retard. That's my answer. Andrew Schulz is a retard. There's a reason I don't listen to anything he says.
So yeah, saying the quiet part out loud. Under the Democrats, Tate can come to the US because he's obviously a criminal, but under Trump, it's not that big of a deal considering Trump is basically a criminal himself.